But for now, we have our round of 16 match. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of ley lines, we have the South Korean Protoss player, the Red Protoss. Representing Gen G Esports, it is Trap. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the Blue Terran player. Representing the Platinum Heroes, it is Nicoract. We go. As we are going to be settling in. So do embrace ley lines once again. Here we go. And again, coming into this, of course, we were featuring Trap last night. He was competing in the PvT Monday. Did have an amazing performance against Shin, if you recall. And as soon as I saw the bracket as well, I saw the potential rematch. And I'm like, oh my god, they just fated to play against each other. I mean, it makes sense because Trap, Shin, and Byun, we have spoken about this before, but they are the most active Korean players for their respective races. I would say it's close between Trap and Nightmare. Nightmare is also typically very active, playing in every open cup. But I just realized that Nightmare is not here today. He is not here today, and he wasn't here last night, I don't think, either. So, yeah, Nightmare is a little bit less active as of recent times. Trap kind of picking up the slack in the absence of Nightmare. But regardless, because they're so active, because they often sign up, they often play against each other. You know, Byun and Shin, how many finals have they faced off in the last 2 months in these open cups? Likewise, Trap as well, also just a regular contender with them as well. So I'm here for it. I am here for it. So now we do have our economic opener at a Nicoract. Racks expand. Economic starts. Likewise, Trap back at home going for a gate expand as well. Nothing too crazy, nothing too wild. The probe does confirm. The probe gets the hell out of there. Does avoid the initial Reaper. Let's go. I think Hero is still the unquestionable king of Korean Protoss. That is not what I'm referring to. I'm referring to being the most active Protoss player, which I would say that both Nightmare and Trap are more active than Hero when it comes to competing in online cups, especially post EWC. Hero did take, even pre EWC, if you remember, Hero did intentionally take a break. Went on a vacation. So Trap is moving out. Behind this, we do have our 3-rack setup here. It's been a while. It has been a while. It's going to be a rack expand into 3 racks here by Nicoract. Let's go. Now, what is a 3-racks? A 3-racks is Mass Marine. It is a stim timing. It's going to be a stim timing from Nicoract. He's going to be building up a bio army before moving out. Adept does threaten the natural. We'll deny some mining time. We'll keep him contained on one base here a little bit longer. So nice damage here by Trap. He gets the hell out of here without overextending. And back at home, we have our tech of choice. It is going to be a Twilight Council. And the Reaper does confirm. So Nicoract, he is aware. He does spot the Twilight Council, does spot Blink. And upon seeing Blink Stalkers on the way, Nicoract, he should adjust his composition. And he should be more warping in or creating some Marauders as a response. So instead of just pure Marine, we'll have some Marauders mixed in to help deal with the would-be Blink Stalkers. Now, on the one hand, it is Blink, and Nicoract is aware, but on the other hand, how many gateways? That is the next big question. Is it going to be 2-gate Blink, 3-gate Blink, or 4-gate Blink Stalker? For now, we have 1 in the main, we have 1 here at the natural, 2-gate Blink. Could be 2-gate Blink into a 3rd, which is a very standard economic build from the side of Trap. We'll see if he doesn't embrace it. Never mind. That's a 3rd gateway. A 3rd gateway has been placed in the main, so it's going to be more aggressive, more assertive. Oh boy. Meanwhile, from the side of Trap, did he scout? He did. Oh, that's why. Trap, he did see additional Raxes. He hasn't fully confirmed. Meanwhile, we spoke about Marauder production. There are those Marauders. Again, it is necessary to invest into Marauders earlier on if you are up against Blink. If you're up against a Stargate, you don't need Marauders as much. You can commit into a purely or even a more heavy Marine-based composition. But Trap, upon confirming this, he does invest into more Stalkers, into more Gateways. That's going to be a Bay as well before expanding. Before the 3rd. Reaper comes in for a scout and up, does not get into the main, does go for the mineral line, and will get a probe. Oh! Gets a probe, doesn't quite get into the main, doesn't quite confirm how many gateways there are, so Nicoract is working with some incomplete information. But the goal for Trap is going to be to slow down the push. Is going to be to pick away at the Marines, ideally even force out a stim. Force out a stim early on. Here took a big vacation for like 2 months pre-EWC. He did. He did. Which is also why I emphasized over the past 2 months post-EWC in the off-season. Trap and Nightmare do have him beat. As I do see Nicoract going for quite a bit of a rotation here. He does actually avoid the entire army. Oh my god! Forces to cancel on the third base. He does commit Trap. He's forced to recall back home. Yeah, Trap out of position. Nicoract, he does stim in. Takes down the shield battery. Shield battery goes down. Where was the recall? It was actually further back into the main. He's going for the robo. He gets it. Nicoract, let's go. He avoids the entire army, cancels the third base, kills the robo. He can keep going. Gets a gateway as well. And the backup robo. That's a kill, not a cancel. Very nicely done. Nicoract catching Trap completely with his pants down. Alas, he doesn't have enough to kill Trap, but that was still a very nice trade. Oh my god. He killed 2 robos, denied the third, traded with the stalkers. Reinforcements have arrived. Oh, Trap. Does he get baited in? He does blink away. Nicoract, he can hold his own. Yo, Nicoract, he wants to go for the kill. Gets a stalker. Gets one more stalker, getting a third base on location. Trap does confirm. Does have an Eps here. He can delay the third. But Nicoract, he wants more. Again, he smells blood in the water. Delays the third, gets a couple of probe kills. There's not much actually to defend back at home. Again, the rope, without a robot, there's no Immortal, there's no Colossus, there's no nothing. And the final stalks are going down. GG gets caught, and Nicoract, he breaks through, and he takes game number 1. Let's go. GG. GG, well played. Nicoract does take the first game here, and again, we spoke earlier about how Nicoract, he has been more aggressive in this matchup in TVP. He has found a lot of success. Despite that, I would have still favored Trap, don't get me wrong, but still a very strong start here for Nicoract. Also, ooh, I apologize. I did forget to post the predictions for this series. Or did I? Hold on, I have to double check. But I may have forgotten to post them for the start of the series. If so, I do apologize. Here we go. Oh, I see. My apologies, hold on. Bam, there we go. Apparently I hadn't paid out the predictions from last night, so my bad, my bad. But now they're open. What's a vacation? That like being unemployed? Vacation, I think, if you're curious what that is a life without Protoss. I'll always remember, I do recommend following Solar on social media, but when he went on vacation after EWC, he posted himself like he's like at the beachside, you know, he's like lounging down, like, you know, enjoying his life, and he's got the subtitle or the subtext of Life Without Protoss. It's beautiful. Peace, serenity, papi. Este Solar. It was beautiful. But here we go. We're getting into our next game. We're getting into game number 2 here, and spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Ultra Love, we have the red Protoss player representing Gen G Esports down in the series. We'll see if he can recover. We'll see if he can force the ace match, as he was meant to be the favorite player. But one more loss and he's out. It is Trap. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the blue Terran player representing the Platinum Heroes, leading the series 1-0, catching Trap with his pants down. Can he do it again? It is Nicoract. Also, hello, late chrononauts. Hello, ¿qué tal? ¿Cómo estás? Bienvenidos, bienvenidos. Ooh, but so far, a very, very powerful game 1 out of Nicoract. A lot of it did come down to Nicoract avoiding Trap, even though Trap was aware that it was a very bio-heavy composition. Nicoract, if you remember, he did skirt around the edge of the map. He was able to avoid the scouts, avoid the main army, and Trap, he had no idea where Nicoract was until it was too late. And Nicoract, he popped off. And we'll see if he can do it again. Not quite saying he's going to do the same build. I do think that would be a bit of a mistake. Usually at this level of play, going for the same build, especially an aggressive one like that, 2 games in a row is not ideal. It is otherwise a little bit too obvious, and your opponent is going to be that much more prepared for it. So we'll see. We'll see what Nicoract goes for. For now, it is going to be an economic opener, Rax Expand. Trappy does confirm he did see the lack of gas, so he's going to be delaying the expansion for as long as he can. The probe is active, and the probe is now going to be forced back. It does delay for a couple of seconds. So a nice little start there, or a nice little win for Trap at the start of the game. As he does back up. And Nicoract here in the main base, what do we go into? Remember, game 1, it was a 3 Rax. Game 2, do we go for a 2-1-1? Do we go 3 CC? What is the plan? As the Reaper moves out. Reaper does move out. Bunker's on the way. Marine is revealed. It is going to be a factory follow-up. Okay, so already Nicoract switching gears. Is going for a factory. This can lead into a 1-1-1, can lead into a more delayed Widowmine drop, can lead into early tank aggression and early tank production, can lead into a 1-1-1 into Banshee. Off of a single gas opener. Unlikely for it to be a Banshee-based opener. But we'll see. Meanwhile, behind this, Trap, once again, 2 games in a row, Twilight Council. It is going to be a Twilight Council opener into Blink. Last game, it was 3-gate Blink, and what I will say is that the build of choice of Trap was fine. It was solid last game. It just came down to his, lack of map awareness. That's really what it came down to. If he did spot the army, he would have slowed it down. He would have been in position. He most likely would have gone Immortal first instead of Colossus to actually have, an Immortal to defend against the 3-axe. Would have seen a very different kind of outcome, very different game. So it's on Trap here to be vigilant. Second gateway's on the way. There's the Robo. So far, so good. Reaper being active. And there is that 1-1-1 going for the Cyclone first. As a reminder, of course, this is the old Cyclone from, 2 iterations ago. So it does require the Tech Lab. It does have access to Magfield accelerators. As the Natural is getting up. And he is, in fact, getting into early tank production. Okay, so early tank production, this usually leads into an early tank push. Likewise, I said earlier that I was writing off Tank Banshee, but no, never mind. It is going to be Tank Banshee. Okay, now this is risky. This is a little bit risky here, especially if Trap does go for a heavier gateway count. He's on 3 gates right now. He can go up to 4. If he goes up to 4 gateways, he can try to abuse this. But for now, staying on a lower gateway count, and he is expanding. Okay. We have confirmation. Same build. Same build 2 games in a row. It's going to be 3-gate Blink out of Trap. He can move out. He can contain Nicoract, but it's not about that. It's about Nicoract's eventual push. On top of that, Trap has to confirm. He has to get eyes in the main. Interesting, as the hallucination is denied, but there's no cloak. No cloak for these Banshees. Interesting. Usually we'd research cloak, and then we try to harass at the same time. Cyclone gets caught out. Banshee's revealed. The boys are being pulled. Oh my god. And it's all or nothing here for Nicoract. Moving out with 1 Banshee and 2 tanks. This is a really early move out by Nicoract and doesn't work in time. Immortal production has begun. Chrono and Immortal immediately. We have shield batteries on the way. Trappy does react. He does respond. He will have 1 Immortal just barely in time. It's going to be close. It is going to be close. The Immortal, it's almost done. Trap needs a little bit more time. Nicoract, he does pause for a moment to repair. Does pause. Remember, these are vanilla Marines. First Banshee does survive. Just barely. Tank is sieging. The Immortal pops out. Yeah, the Immortal is here. And with the help of the Immortal, this army here from Nicoract is not as threatening. Oh. Nice repairs, though. Tanks are gaining ground. Trap getting ready for the surround. He's going to be coming in from behind. Actually trying to catch reinforcements. He gets a tank. Massive pickoff. 1 tank goes down. Ooh, that's a brutal loss for Nicoract. It is a brutal loss. Tank boys going off. Immortal goes down, but a second Immortal has arrived. And here comes the surround, and Trap, he will clean this up. GG gets called. Trap ties up the series 1-1. GG. GG, well played. Trap does tie things up, and we are going to game 3. We're going to the ace match. Here we go. As we are going to be getting into this. And, I mean, I wasn't opposed to the build of Nicoract. It is unfortunate, though, that Trap was being active. This is what I mean a little bit when I say that it's not ideal to go for the same build 2 games in a row. This wasn't the same build, but it was still very aggressive. And, I mean, it was a 2-base all-in, right? It was a 2-base all-in from Nicoract. And the problem is, because he was already hyper-aggressive the previous game, Trap is that much more attentive, right? Trap, he's being active. He's gotten eyes on the army. He was able to slow it down and able to punish it as well. And I imagine once again here in the ace match, Trap, he's going to be, you know, just keeping all eyes on Nicoract. And we'll see what Nicoract goes for here. I wouldn't be opposed to, I don't know, even something earlier. I don't know how successful it would be, but something like, I don't know, Proxy Marauder at the end of the game. Going for something that strikes faster, or maybe just a different approach entirely. We'll see. We shall see as we are getting into the ace match, and spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Amygdala, we have the red Protoss player from South Korea representing Gen G Esports. It is Trap. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the blue Terran player representing the Platinum Heroes. It is Nicoract. Go. So, hello, Squirrel Fund. Hello. ¿Qué tal? ¿Cómo estás? Good to see you. We are settling in. But again, clearly we did pick correctly. I mean, I did foresee Trap versus Nicoract, and I did want to believe in Nicoract as well. At least for the time being, the only series to make it to the ace match. Let's go. I mean, I'm sure Geralt and Wayne have potential for an ace match as well, but I'm quite content. And we'll see how this story ends. Do we end in an upset, or does the favorite player in Trap make it through to the next round? We'll see. We shall see. As the Probe Scout is coming in. Does get eyes on the opener. Once again, single gas. Single gas opener out of Nicoract, so it's going to be a racked spend. Once again, something more economic. At least to start things off. Trap likewise expanding. Yeah, upon confirming Trap, he does delay. 400 minerals have amassed for Nicoract, and is going to be delayed by a couple of seconds. Similar to the last game. Natural's now being taken. You see Nicoract fully rolling off here on the high grounds. And do we see another factory or racks? Or a CC? True. What's it going to be? What will the follow-up be here from Nicoract? Reaper moves out across the map. I feel like for the most part, like we have seen in Game 1 and Game 2, it's going to be Nicoract with a more aggressive build, and Trap responding and reacting to the build of Nicoract. But now, another Twilight Council opener. I would not be surprised if Trap just goes 3-gate in again. Like, 3-gate Blink is just such a safe way to play. Doesn't always mean you survive aggression, but still safe nonetheless. It gives you the tools to defend, I should say. It does give you the tools. Let's go! 3 CC! So it's going to be a third CC before Factory, before Racks. This I do like. After what happened in Game 1 and Game 2, I'm really fond of going for a very greedy build instead. But we'll see if we can get away with it. So 3 CC, 3 racks from Nicoract. Bjorn loves this build. Bjorn is very fond of it. We see Bjorn do this all the time. Great to see Nicoract embrace it as well. There's a second rack, so there should be a third rack following this up as well. Now, the power of this build really kicks in the mid game. Once the third base gets up and running, the bio production gets out of this world, and the Terran player very quickly takes a supply lead. Typically, if all things go well. Typically. There's that third rack on the way. It's going to be on Trap to punish. It's going to be one of two things. Either Trap to try to punish the greed of Nicoract and abuse that, or to be greedy himself and try to kind of like keep up with the economy of the Terran. One or the other. Meanwhile, once again, do have a Second gateway here on the low ground. It's going to be 2. Nope, there we go. 3-gate blink. So once again, same build. 3-gate blink here out of trap. A very safe build. This may also lead into a bay before the 3rd, which I think would be good for the Terran. As the Adept Scout is denied. But if trap is overly safe, then Nicoract will get away with the 3rd CC and even get further ahead. So we'll see how safe. Yep, trap, he takes some more gases. 2 more gases, which means he should be going for the bay into Colossus before expand. Trap may even believe this is a 3 racks. Based on what he's seen, based on the other racks further back, he might just be convinced it's going to be a 3 racks build instead. We're waiting for the bay. Hallucinations moving out. Stalker's outside of the natural. And we should be seeing that bay momentarily. Yep, there it is. There's the bay. There's a shield battery. Yeah, he believes. I mean, this screams 3 racks defense. Because of this, yep, safety immortal first into Colossus, but thankfully, here comes hallucination. And he cancels. You can see immediately cancels the shield battery, and he cancels the immortal as well. The setup that we saw clearly shows us that he believed it was a 3 racks. Now he knows it is not, and now he needs to expand. Yep, he needs to expand. He needs to catch up. So Trap was playing very carefully, very safely. Now realized he did not need to. And now the pressure is on Trap, not just to catch up economically, but also to try and delay mining. To delay the expand. And Nicoract, he's not feeling too confident. Okay, he does pull away. I mean, he doesn't have stim, true. Without stim, it is difficult to break out. He scans, he sees the 3rd that's in production. That tells Nicoract, of course, that there's no all-in, that we're working towards a later game. Now, because of the lift and land, that also does impact the worker count of Nicoract, so it's a little bit lower than it otherwise should have been. And Nicoract, he might think it's more aggressive than it is. He's getting ready for War Prism Harass. But eventually Nicoract should expand. He's still just oversaturated on 2 bases. Snipes the Observer. Nicely done. And now he should expand. There we go. Now he does break out. Worker's going to be transferring. Shuts down these Stalkers. Now, the unfortunate reality is that Nicoract could have done this sooner. He could have done this sooner. He was playing very scared himself. I don't blame him. It's been a very intense game. Or, sorry, intense series. But Nicoract, he was playing overly cautiously as well. So he doesn't have as much of an economic lead as he otherwise should have. But he does move out. This move out, though, I'm not really too confident in just because there's already Colossus, right? There's already Colossus. There's already a shield battery. There's force fields. Trap should be okay here as long as he's able to force field the army. Meanwhile, Nicoract, he stems in. Sees 2 Colossus. With 2 Colossus, no shot. Sees the army. Nicoract has to back off. And Trap even takes a 4th. He takes a 4th base immediately. And Nicoract has to get the hell out of here. Does have to pull away. Back at home, working towards medevac production. Building up. We're even bleeding out a Marauder. Nice pick off here from Trap. Very nicely done. Nicoract, he's scanning. He wants to see if his opponent is chasing him. Alas, he is not. Now we can settle in. Now, what I will say, on the one hand, yes, Nicoract, his 3rd base is not as fast as it could have been. True, it could have been a lot sooner, and he could have had a greater economic lead. But he still has a decent army, right? He's still working on 2-2. He's soon to be active with these medevacs. He can go for some drop play. Nicoract is still keeping up with Trap. As Trap is diversifying his splash damage, instead of going for a second Robo, that is going to be a Templar Archives working towards Storm. So Storm is on the horizon. Oh, the initial move out gets caught. 1 medevac goes down. Very nice pick off here by Trap. Gets a medevac. Likewise, Trap working towards Storm, as we did mention. Is building up on 4 bases. Has 3 Colossus. And I would not be surprised if Nicoract plays more defensively from here. Yeah, observe. Sorry, fourth base. Fourth base is on the way here at the third location. Getting to 2-2, getting to Viking production. The only thing we're really missing here is Ghost production. Getting to a Ghost Academy. A handful of Ghosts would be ideal. And Nicoract is going to be the first to max out. I am going to be concerned, though, if he does max out without Ghosts. That is concerning to me, as he is at 180 supply. And there's still no... There we go. Academy is now being thrown down. Trap moves out. Fanning out his units, observers, spotter zealots. Even the Warp Prism here, boys to go into the main. I do appreciate that there's a spotter factory to get eyes on that. Do appreciate it. Jesus, I mean, look at how many Marauders there are. Ay, ay, ay. That's a chunky army pack. Let's go. Meanwhile, Prism into the main. Nicoract, he does have some units to defend. He has some reinforcements, but a massive warping into the mineral line. Oh, and Nicoract, he has to turn around. No, he commits. Uh-oh. Does commit instead. Alas, there are some storms. They zone him away. Yeah, a couple of High Templars, all that Trap needs. 13 SCV kills. Oh, this is getting out of hand. Another storm. Oof. And another takes down the Metamax even. And a big reason why this did so much damage was because Nicoract was maxed. He was maxed out, so his production was stifled. There wasn't that much coming out. Likewise, no turrets in the main. And this buys time. More than anything, it buys time, and now Trap, he has a comparable army size to his opponent. Meanwhile, do we have any ghosts? Two. Two ghosts here for Nicoract. That's not a lot of ghosts for the Terran. Stellar Runback comes in. It's one of those things where the soup does lie, right? Like, the army supply are close. They're neck and neck between Nicoract and Trap, but I will say that Trap has the better army. Does have the higher quality soup, if you will. Nicoract, he's refining his forces, don't get me wrong. Is getting to more ghosts. We'll see if we can get there. So far, army not quite in position. He's going to be rotating over. Trap likewise. We're going to collapse in. War Prism once again into the natural. Nicoract not quite in position. SCVs are going down. Warping into the main. How many High Templar? Do I want to know? 8. Jesus. 8 High Templar, mate. Yeah, thankfully, 3 of them are back at home to defend. So not all of them are on the front lines. But that's going to be a lot of Storm. That's a lot of Storm. EMPs need to be on point. Ghost behind the army. Storm does zone. As the second Storm, there's a third. Still plenty more Storms. Another Zealot warping into the main, catches reinforcements. And these Zealots are getting out of hand. Once again, they get out of hand. This is again why Zealot run-bys in late game TVP can be so brutal and so cost efficient. Just because Terran production does slow down once they near max, of course. And there's just not enough at home to defend. Another Storm connects. Oh my god! Yeah, brutal Storms. Storms that don't do too much against Marauders, but stacked up like that, I mean, even Marauders go down. That's a kill on the CC. Trap moving forward. Now, Nicoract does have a supply advantage here as his SCV count is lower. So he does have a super maxed army. Trap pushing in. Still has Storms behind this. Vikings move forward. Diesel EMP here on the Immortals at least. Not a bad concave. Here come the Storms. Oh my god, the Storms are brutal. They shut down the Marauders. The Storms are crazy. Oh my god. Yeah, the Storms are just too much here. They shut down the army. And there's not enough here to defend. GG gets called. Trap, he does overwhelm, and he will take the series at 2-1. GG. GG, well played. Trap, he will take the series here. Mate, who needs disruptors? I mean, especially now that disruptors have been nerfed in this matchup. Why embrace disruptor when you can embrace mass storm instead? So Trap, he pops off, does take it. Again, Nicoract, I do appreciate the build that he went for. He did manage to get to, you know, a 4-race economy and maxed out army as well, but he didn't get there as quickly as he otherwise would have liked. If he were to be able to just get there a little bit faster, then he can be more aggressive, more active, and we could have seen maybe a different dynamic. For the most part, Nicoract, he was stuck defending. He was stuck defending back at home instead. He was stuck in between his bases. I mean, shout out to Trap and the non-stop War Prism harass. Time and time again, we saw Nicoract attempt to push, but time and time again, Zealots in the main. Zealots in the main, Zealots in the natural. Time and time again, he just had to race back home to deal with it. It became an issue, it became a problem, and it gave Trap so much freedom and so much breathing room to do whatever he wanted. With that, GG. GG, well played. Trap will advance on to the next round, and the question becomes, does he have an opponent? Let's find out. Exclamation mark.